Hello, Walk Nation. So, in part 9 of Flat Earth, I touched briefly on the creation story, and we looked at the first and the second day. So, today we are going to look at the third day. And in the third day, it starts from verse 9 of Genesis chapter 1. And it says, "And God said, Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so." So there is something I need you to notice there. He gathered the waters together. Just like any practical gathering of waters together here on earth. So when you gather water together, it's like when dams are being built. So you build a wall around it. Then after building a wall around it, now the water can gather. That is the exact same thing that God did. He gathered the waters together. And what holds the oceans together are the ice barriers down in the south, where exploration is not allowed. So verse 9 again, "And God said, Let the waters under the heavens be gathered unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so." After gathering of the waters, now God out of the waters said that land should appear. So the dry land appeared out of the waters that have been gathered. Now we can also agree that all our continents are surrounded by water. This is a fact, and it was from the beginning. So if you're following, you can already start painting a picture of how the earth looks like, according to how the Bible has described the creation story. Now, this is only the third day. I am only explaining the third day today. So, I explained the first day and the second day, which are in my Flat Earth part 9. And I pray to God that understanding be your portion. So, after creating the land, He named the land Earth. And the gathering of waters He called sea. So in verse 10, we notice that the earth He talked about in verse 2 has been divided into the heavens we know and the earth we know. Verse 11 says, "And God said, Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seeds, and the fruit tree yielding fruits after his kind, whose seeds is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seeds after his kind, and the tree yielding fruits, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good." So in verse 11, we are being told that there is no evolution that took place. It was Jesus, the mighty hand of the Creator, and the sword that proceeds out of his mouth, that commanded the earth to produce every type of vegetation that we see on this earth. These are the works of the Almighty God. Every plant you see is God's power in manifestation. And that was the third day. Know the truth, share the truth. Jesus Christ is Lord, Creator of heaven and earth.
Century, mostly thanks to the experiments, books, and lectures of an English inventor and author named Dr. Samuel Rowbotham, a flat earth renaissance began sweeping the world. Rowbotham's findings, beginning with his 1864 book, Earth, Not a Globe, an experimental inquiry into the true figure of the Earth, proving it a plane, without axial or orbital motion, and the only material world in the universe, caused quite a stir in the scientific community, and thanks to 3 decades of his efforts, the shape of the Earth became a hot topic of debate around the turn of the 19th century. Dr. Rowbotham conducted several experiments using telescopes, spirit levels, and theodolites, special precision instruments used for measuring angles in horizontal or vertical planes. By positioning them at equal heights, aimed at each other successively, he proved over and over the Earth to be perfectly flat for miles without a single inch of curvature. In his most famous series of experiments, Rowbotham traveled to Cambridge, England, where there is a 20-mile canal called the Old Bedford, which passes in a straight line through the fenlands known as the Bedford Level. The water has no interruption from locks or water gates of any kind, and remains stationary, making it perfectly suitable for determining whether any amount of convexity or curvature actually exists. If we were living on a ball Earth, every pond, lake, marsh, canal, and other large body of standing water, each part would have to comprise a slight arc, or semicircle, curving downwards from the central summit. If the ball Earth were truly 25,000 miles in circumference, as claimed by heliocentrists, then spherical trigonometry dictates the surface of all standing water must curve downwards an easily measurable 8 inches per mile, multiplied by the square of the distance. This means along a 6-mile channel of standing water, the Earth would have to curve 16 feet 8 inches downwards from one end to the other, and or dip 6 feet on either end from the central peak, depending where the measurement is taken. Rowbotham tested first by standing in the water, holding a telescope 8 inches above the surface, while his partner rowed away from him in a small boat with a 5-foot-tall flag attached. If the Earth was indeed a globe 25,000 miles in circumference, by the time the boat reached Welney Bridge 6 miles away, the entire boat and flag should have been completely invisible, hidden behind a 6-foot-tall mass of curved water. In reality, however, every time tested, the entire boat and flag remained visible from start to finish. In a second experiment, Dr. Rowbotham placed 7 flags along the edge of the water, each 1 mile distant from the next, with their tops positioned 5 feet above the surface, and stood with his telescope behind the first. If the Earth was a globe 25,000 miles in circumference, each successive flag would have to decline a definite and determined amount below the last. The first and second flags established the line of sight. Then the third should fall 8 inches below the second, the fourth flag 32 inches below, the fifth 6 feet, the sixth 10 feet 8 inches, and the seventh flag should be a clear 16 feet 8 inches below the line of sight. Even if the Earth was a globe of 100,000 miles, an amount of easily measurable curvature should and would still be evident in this experiment.